Hey there, everybody. After 4 or 5 days away, just to take a little break, we're back at it. May Madness, as we're almost in the month of May now. We're up to, I believe today is April 25th, so we're getting closer and closer to May, and I really want to get these last two games done in the first round to finish out April. And then in May, we'll be right down to the Sweet 16, which is where we like it. And then I'll be able to time it so it finishes just before the end of May. So Memorial Day may be the final game of the tournament, hopefully, if I plan it out right. All right, so in case you've missed anything, I've had a couple of videos that did not go through the way I thought they would. YouTube didn't cooperate, so a couple of the games never got put on video. I'll update, I think, the most recent game. The 2002 Oakland A's defeated the Kansas City Royals of 77 to move on. They will play Seattle. And we've got two games left in the first round. We've got the 70 Orioles against the 72 A's. But we also have today's game, which is the 2004 Cardinals against the 2005 White Sox, number 8 seed versus number 25 seed. So let's take a look at the roster and lineup for the White Sox, as they are the quote-unquote visiting team based on their rankings. And I freely admit, 2005, I was not that big into baseball back then. So a lot of these players, I know them, but I'm not that intimately familiar with them the way I am some of these other guys. So I made the lineups the best I could based on what I saw on their cards, and hopefully didn't butcher their lineups too badly. So hopefully Ozzie Guillen would not be ashamed of this lineup. We'll see. All right, for the White Sox, leading off will be the left fielder, Scott Podsednik. Batting second and playing second base is Tad Iguchi. Batting third in right field, Jermaine Dye. Batting cleanup at first base is Paul Konerko. Hitting in the fifth position, the DH, Carl Everett. Hitting in the number 6 position, center fielder Aaron Rowand. Batting seventh and catching, A.J. Pierzynski. Batting eighth and playing third base is Joe Crede. And batting ninth is shortstop Juan Uribe. Now, I got these from Moonlight Graham pretty cheap about 2 years ago. So these are definitely used. People are writing on these things. I don't know what these numbers significantly are. I just ignore them, but that's why they're there. They're not from me. They're from whoever I got these from. And the starting pitcher for the White Sox, and again, they put a little black dot there for some reason. It's not a hole punch there. That's actually a black dot in ink, is Mark Buehrle. And Mark Buehrle in 2005, 16-8, 3.12 ERA. If they have to call on a pinch hitter or pinch runner or defensive replacement, they have Willie Harris, they have Pablo Ozuna, they have Timo Perez, and they have backup catcher Chris Widger. So we've got those four there. And if they need bullpen, which I'm sure they probably will, they have the long man, Brandon McCarthy. In case anybody needs long relief, he's got a very long relief rating. They have two lefties, Neil Kotz and Damaso Marte. And then the right-handers, they have Bobby Jinks, Cliff Polite, I think it's pronounced Polite, Luis Vizcaino, and their closer was Dustin Hermanson with 34 saves. So that is the White Sox. Let's look at the 2004 Cardinals. Leading off will be Tony Womack at second base. Batting second is Larry Walker in right. Hitting third at first base is Albert Pujols, and again, these have the writings on them. In center field, batting cleanup is Jim Edmonds. Scott Rowlands at third, hitting fifth. Reggie Sanders is batting sixth, and he's going to DH in this game. Edgar Renteria, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Mike Matheny, the catcher, will hit eighth. And So Taguchi, the left fielder, will hit ninth. And on the mound for the Cardinals, Redbirds, is Chris Carpenter. And in 2004, Carpenter, 15-5 with a 3.46 ERA. Look at their bench. They have John Mabry, Ray Lankford, Marlon Anderson, and backup catcher Yadier Molina. This was his rookie year. He just came up at the end of the year, only had 135 at bats. So Matheny was still the catcher, and it was kind of a change in the guard going forward, but 2004 was still mainly Matheny. Let's look at their bullpen. They got quite a few guys in the bullpen. Let's look at their lefties, Steve Klein and Ray King, who was known as Everyday Ray because he claimed he could pitch every day. So they called him Everyday Ray. Right-handers, Cal Eldred, Kiko Calero, Julian Tavares. And their closer, Jason Isringhausen, who had 47 saves. So those are the rosters for both teams. Now that you know who I have to choose from. And we are just about ready to get going. Let's get the score sheet all in place. A little backstop over here, you know, the drill. My little low budget setup, I guess I should say. Not very sophisticated, but hopefully it's enough so that you can see what's going on. I brought out the Cardinal red dice today. Even the D20 is red, so that's for the Cardinals. Chris Carpenter finishing up his warm-up tosses, and he'll be getting ready to face left-hander Scott Pasednik. And then this game in May Madness, second to last game in the first round, is now going to be underway. 4-8 off Carpenter, the lefty. 4-8 is against the left-handed batters. A ground ball to first. That's handled by Pujols. And Pasednik is retired. Brings up Tad Higuchi. We got Iguchi for the White Sox and Taguchi for the Cardinals. Interesting. 3-11 against a right-hander. 3-11's a base hit for Iguchi. So 1-out single for Iguchi. Now, does he want to run? He's a B stealer. If we look at Matheny's arm, Matheny is a -1 arm, so that would be less than 50-50 because it would end up being a 9 after you calculate all the things you have to calculate. So they will hold Taguchi on, but he will not steal. Here's right fielder Jermaine Dye. 4-5 against Carpenter. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Mr. Renteria, the shortstop. And Renteria defensively is a 2E12, but 2 is the operative number in this advanced defensive metric. 2 and a 7 at short is a good play. It's ground ball B, so it's a fielder's choice. Can't quite turn the double play as Dye motored down the line to prevent that. So Dye's at first. He's a B stealer, so the same situation. He will be held, but will not try to steal. And here's the powerful Paul Konerko. 5-5 against Carpenter. That's fly to center, and that's hauled in out there by the center fielder Edmonds. And the White Sox go down pretty meekly in the first. Half an inning is in the books, and it's the White Sox 0 Cardinals coming to bat. And lefty Mark Burley finishing his warm-up tosses. We'll be facing Tony Womack, second baseman. Lefty on lefty matchup. That is a 6-8 against a lefty, and Womack found the sweet spot on Burley. 1-18 is a double, 19-20 is a single. So that is a leadoff double for Tony Womack. How about that? A leadoff double for Womack. He's an ace stealer. He will be held. Here's Larry Walker. The Cardinals start off with 2 lefties against Burley, but hasn't seemed to affect him any. 4-6 against Burley. And that's a strikeout. So Larry Walker goes down on strikes. Cannot advance the runner. Here's Albert Pujols. First base is open, but they'll pitch to him. 6-9. That's a fly to right for out number 2. And now it's up to Jim Edmonds, another lefty. So that's why not only is Burley their better pitcher, but he's also lefty. I think that was part of the reason he's starting. Here's Edmonds. 2-3 for Edmonds. And that's a fly to center to end the inning. As that's hauled in by Rowan. And after a leadoff double, Burley pitches around it. We go to the top of the second. No score. Carpenter will now be facing Carl Everett, switch hitter, as the DH. 6-9, and that's an in-home run right there. 6-9 on Carpenter is an in-home run. He has normal power, so Carl Everett has just taken Carpenter deep. There's no other role necessary. That was a straight-out in-home run, and the Sox lead it 1-0. How about that? Carl Everett, who on the season had 23 home runs. So good deal there for the Sox. 1-8 for Rowan. A 1 is a single. Anything else he lines to Renteria. 2, Renteria snow cone. That one just did get it. But it was all it was needed. And there's one away. It's going to bring up the catcher, A.J. Pierzynski. 1-9 for Pierzynski, and that's a single. So Pierzynski, base hit. They're starting to get to Carpenter. Pierzynski's an E stealer. He will not be held. Here's Joe Creedy. 110 for Creedy, and it's ground ball second base C, so that will advance the runner, as Womack's only play is to first. Brzezinski will go to second. He's in scoring position with 2 outs, and he's not being held, so a base hit could score him, even though he's not a very good runner. Here's Juan Uribe, the shortstop. 4-7, and that's a strikeout, so no worries there about trying to score, as Carpenter puts the K on Uribe, but the home run from Carl Everett has given the Sox a 1-0 lead, and we go to the bottom of the second, and it will be Scott Rowland, also very well known for playing for the Phillies as well. Scott Rowland, 4-9 for Burley against a righty. 4-9 is a single, so Scott Rowland going to lead off with a base hit. He's a D-stealer. He will not be held. Here's DH Reggie Sanders, 6-3 against a righty. He's a fly ball left field X. That is going to be Pasednik, and he is a 2 with an E4, so he's a 2 left fielder. And that's a 13, which may go to an error check. 2 and a 13 does go to an error check, and he is an E4. Let's see what happens on an E4. You get a 7 on an E4, and a 7 is a fly ball B, so it's a good play. So Pasednik handles a tough chance, 1 away. Runner had to hold, of course. And that takes us to Edgar Renteria. 2-4 against the lefty for Renteria. All these hits in column 2, and he found a pop up to short. So he pops it up for out number 2, and Uribe puts it away. 2 down, it's up to the catcher, Matheny. 1-9 for Matheny against the lefty, and he's going to fly to right. An easy play out there by Jermaine Dye. And the Sox, after 2 complete, lead the Cardinals 1-0. According to the seedings, this would be an upset, but I think they could go either way, actually, because they're both very good teams. Here's Pasednik, 6-4 against Carpenter, and that's a catcher X. And for the catcher, Matheny, he checks in with a defensive rating of 1, so can't get much better than that. 1 and a 13, and a 1 and a 13 for a catcher is a ground ball B, so it's just a little dribbler in front of the plate, and he pounces on it, throws to first. Pasednik is out, 1 away. Taking us to Tad Iguchi. 2-4 for Iguchi, and he's going to draw a 1-out walk. So he has reached base twice. Single and now a walk. Again, he will be held but will not steal. And here's Jermaine Dye. 5-9 is a strikeout. Carpenter got him. So 2 down, and that's going to send us to Paul Konerko, the powerful Paul Konerko. 3-6 for Konerko, and he strikes out. So he wasn't all that powerful right then, as he takes the whiff. And at the end of 2.5, it's still 1-0 Sox. But LaRusso's trying to get his Cardinals to get their bats going here. So Taguchi steps in. So Taguchi, 2-11 against the lefty, ground ball to second. That's handled by Iguchi. So Taguchi grounds to Iguchi, and that's a lot of Gucci's. Here's Womack. We just need Charo. 2-10 for Womack is a walk. So Tony Womack, 1-out walk. He's reached base twice. He's an A stealer, so chance for him to maybe steal here. Brzezinski's arm as the catcher is a +1, so that's even better for the Cardinals. So again, he is an A stealer, which means he starts as a 15, being held as a 13, because you lose the 2, but then you gain the 1 from Brzezinski's arm. So it's a 1-14. They're going to take the chance. 1-14. They got to make something happen, and he steals it. So Womack gets into scoring position with 1 out on that stolen base, and here's Larry Walker. 2-11 for Walker, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. Question is, will it score Womack? Let's take a look at the running and the outfielder. Now, he was being held. He runs at a 15, makes him a 14 for being held. And the left fielder's arm, Pasednik, is a +2, though, so not very good there. +2. That would be a 1-16. They're going to go ahead and send him 1-16. He makes it. And barely slides in under Brzezinski's tag. And we got a tie game on the base hit by Larry Walker. RBI single. for Walker. 1-1 now, and Walker's a B stealer. He will be held, but he will not steal. Pujols 6-5 against Burley. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Uribe, and Uribe checks in at short as a 2 with an E18, but 2 is the operative word. They could try to turn a double play. 2-19 probably do it. 2-19 is a ground ball A, certainly is. 6-4-3. So Pujols grounds into the double play, but the RBI single by Walker and that stolen base proved huge to get him into scoring position. So the Cardinals playing a little small ball, tied the game up at 1 apiece after 3 innings. And that'll take us to Carpenter. Carpenter and Burley both have 7 as their fatigue innings, so we're just in the 4th, so they're definitely good to go. Here's Carl Everett, who homered his first time up. 6-9, 6-9. And that's the same thing he just did again. Same roll, 6-9. He's hit 6-9 twice on Carpenter. He's hit that 6-9 twice with the in-home run. So Carl Everett has done it again. How do you like that? He has done it again. A home run once again. 2 solo shots for Carl Everett. So he's the epitome of a DH. He is hitting. A lot of DHs don't hit. They're designated hitters, but they end up being designated outs. Not Carl Everett. 1-9 for Rowan. He's going to strike out. So Carpenter trying to right the ship. But it's 2-1 White Sox as we play on here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Przinsky. 5-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to Womack at second for out number 2. So Przinsky's gone. That brings up Joe Creedy. 2-8 for Creedy, and he's going to ground to short as well. Well, not as well, because he grounded to second last time. So ground ball to short, Renteria fields it, but the home run from Mr. Everett, and he is showing the way with 2 solo homers. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-1 White Sox, and Carpenter and the Cardinals need to come up with a solution for Mr. Everett. All right, here is Jim Edmonds. 2-5 for Edmonds, and a 1-10 is a double. 11-20, and it's going to Jermaine Dye is going to get up to it. It's a 2, so drop in for a double for Jim Edmonds, a leadoff double, and back come the Cardinals. He's a C stealer, so he will be held. Obviously not going to go anywhere. Scott Rowland. 1-7 for Rowland is a walk, and that's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out. Now, with Sanders, he's not a very good bunter, so they're just going to have him swing away. Try to avoid a double play. 3-3, and that's a fly ball right field B question mark. So Edmonds has a chance to get to third on that. He runs at a 13. You add 2 to that, makes it a 15. And then the right fielder's arm, Jermaine Dye, can alter that as well. And Jermaine Dye is a -4. Whoa, -4. So that takes it from a 14 down to a 10. So 1-10, he'll make it. 11-19, he'll hold. And 20, he's out. So 1-10, he makes it. And he does. So he does get to go to third. So he beats the throw from Jermaine Dye. And Edmonds gets over to third base, which is critical. He's at third now with less than 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Double play is in order for Renteria to hit into if they can do it. But and the White Sox are playing for that doubleheader. Renteria's got a lot of ground ball A's on his card. 5-5, and that is a ground ball A off of the card of Burley. So they get it right where they want it. And it's a good thing they didn't play in because, well, maybe not. That's that underline. That's an older season thing, I think. I'm not sure why it's there. I don't think that's because of the... although I don't see any pluses on here, so maybe that's the old version of the where a base hit would get through for a guy being held. But either way, ground ball, third base A is a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to end the inning and keep the Cardinals off the board. So we go to the 5th. It's still 2-1 White Sox. And LaRusse has got to feel snake bit. So here's Uribe, shortstop, to lead off against Carpenter. 5-7, and that's a 1-11 single. 12-20, and Rowland will throw him out. And that's going to get through for a base hit. So Uribe, number 9 hitter, leads off with a base hit. He's a D stealer. He will not be held. Pasednik could bunt. Do they want to bunt him or not? He's 0 for 2, so you know what? They're going to try a bunt because he's 0 for 2. He hasn't done anything. So maybe they can get something out of a bunt here. Let's see what he does. He's a B bunter, becomes a C bunter because they're expecting it. So a 9 and a C bunter. A C bunter and a 9. Oh, batter is safe. Lead runner is thrown out by the catcher. So Matheny got out there, pounced on it, throws to Renteria covering for the force. So that's going to go 2-6 on a fielder's choice. So I call it FCB is how I determine it because that's a fielder's choice bunt. Not that that matters, but just because. All right, now Pasednik though is a double-A stealer, so excellent chance for him to try to steal, despite the fact that Matheny is a -1 arm. Double-A stealer starts at a 17. You'd hold, he's held, so that's a 15. -1's a 14. So 1 to 14, those are good odds. They're going to go ahead and send Pasednik. It's a 20. He got thrown out. So Matheny fires it down there, and Pasednik is thrown out, trying to get in the scoring position. It's a good gamble, just didn't pay off. And now that will send up Taguchi. 2 outs, base is empty. 111 for Taguchi is a ground ball to short, handled by Renteria. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still a 2-1 ball game. And the Sox are waiting for next inning when Carl Everett gets to bat again. Cardinals are not. They're not looking forward to that. Here's Mark Burley. He's got a 2-1 lead to protect. And here's Matheny, who made that nice throw to get out Pasednik. 1-8 for Matheny. He's going to pop it up to short. Easy play there for Uribe. 1 away. Brings up Taguchi. 4-11 is a ground ball to third. That's handled by Creedy. So 2 up, 2 down. Cardinals can't get that offense going. Here's Womack. 3-7. That is a single. So Tony Womack, a 2-out single. Now the question is, he stole the base last time. It would make sense to try it again to get in scoring position with 2 outs, so they will. A is a 15, being held as a 13, but you get the +1 from Brzezinski. So it's a 1 to 14. Same odds Pasednik had last time, 1 to 14. And he makes it. So it's another stolen base for Womack. And he gets in scoring position with 2 down. He will be held, of course. And here's Larry Walker. 1-3 for Walker. He's going to fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So the stolen base does not pay dividends in the long run. And the Cardinals are retired in the 5th. Go to the 6th. 2-1 Sox. And Carpenter will face Dye, Konerko, and then the ominous Carl Everett. So here's Jermaine Dye, 4-8, and that's a fly to right. Handled out there by Larry Walker. 1 away, and that's going to send us to Paul Konerko. 3-7 for Konerko. He grounds to short. That's 2 down. And now here comes Carl Everett, and Chris Carpenter needs to roll something other than a 6-9. Got to avoid that 6-9. He did. 2-4. It's ground ball to short, so he avoided the 6-9 that paid off. 3 up, 3 down they go. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And much like many of these first-round games, you get the better pitching out there and end up with pitching duels. And then when you get the bullpen, sometimes it implodes, but we'll see. Here's Albert Pujols. I could use him to do something. 270 does not. He grounds to short. Uribe fires over to Konerko for 1 away. Here's Jim Edmonds. 4-9 against Burley. That's a single. So Jim Edmonds has doubled and singled. He's a C stealer. He will be held, but he will not try it. And here's Roland. 6-3 for Rollins, a fly ball left field X. That is Pasednik. Again, he is a 2. 2 and an 8. Could go to an error check for a left fielder. A 2 and 8 does go to an error check. And Pasednik, I believe, is an E2. No, I'm sorry, he's E4. E4 for Pasednik. We get a 10. That could be an error. E4 and a 10 is no, it's a fly ball B. He just did get it. 11 or 12 would have been an error. But a 10 is a fly ball B for out number 2. Pasednik makes that tough play. Keeps the runner first. 2 outs for Reggie Sanders. 1-5 for Sanders, struck him out, and that's the end of the inning. So we go to the top of the 7th, and this is the point of weakness inning for both pitchers. So we have to be cognizant of that and see if the bullpens start to stir a little bit. Although both starters have been efficient and effective. Carpenter, just those 2 home runs that did him in so far. But here's Aaron Rowan. 112 for Rowan. He's hit by the pitch, so he gets plunked. Start off the 7th. And now everyday Ray King is up for the Cardinals in their bullpen, a lefty. Let's see, Rowan's a B stealer, but he will not try anything. Here's Przinsky. 2-3 for Przinsky. It's a ground ball pitcher B. That's a fielder's choice. We'll call it 1-6 on the fielder's choice. And Przinsky's the new runner. He's an E stealer. He, of course, will not be held. And it brings up Joe Creedy. Joe Creedy, 5-10 off Carpenter. Is a fly ball to left. And Taguchi hauls that in. 2 down. And that'll bring up number 9 hitter Juan Uribe. Uribe, a 3-7, and that's a ground ball to short. Renteria has it, and the inning is over. So nothing going on there. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Still 2-1 Sox. And we will have Renteria leading things off. Be Renteria, Matheny, and Taguchi. Bottom of the order. 5-7, and that's a fly to center. Aaron Rowan makes the play. And we're almost at the point now where you might start thinking about pinch hitting if you're the Cardinals. Let's see who they got on the bench. They got Mabry, who's a lefty. Langford's a lefty. Everybody on the bench is a lefty other than the catcher Molina. But he's a 267. Matheny's a 247. You wonder if they might, you know what? They're going to try to get some Yadier Molina magic going right here. Yadier Molina is going to pinch hit for Matheny and stay in the game to catch. So they're going to see if they can't get something going because Matheny was 0 for 2. So they're trying to get a spark out of Molina. He's got a great column 3 against lefties. Didn't find it though. Found the pitcher. 4-7 struck him out. So Molina had no control over that, but had to try to take a chance. Here's Taguchi. 1-7, and that's a single for Taguchi. So a 2-out single. He's a B stealer. Does he try it? B stealer, though, is not going to work out very well, I don't think. 1-13, it's a 10. It's an 11. It'd be a 1-11. You know what? They're going to try it. 1-11, they're going to try it. With 2 outs, see if we can get in scoring position. And he's got caught stealing. So it was a good gamble. It was over 50-50, but it just didn't work out. And that's the end of the 7th. 2-1 our score. White Sox in the lead. And now, will the Cardinals go to their pen? And I believe they will. They're going to go to everyday Ray King. Everyday Ray is going to come on. Carpenter goes 7 innings and gives up 2 runs, both on the homer or homers by Mr. Everett. But now we have the top of the order. Pasednik's the lefty coming up. Pasednik will be in, and Ray King's only going to face Pasednik because after Ray King, we got a right-handers coming up in the lineup. So the Cardinals will then go to a right-hander, Julian Tavares. So Julian Tavares will be coming in. Ray King, his only job is to get Pasednik. That's the only thing he's there for, to get Pasednik. After that, he's out one way or the other. He's going to come out of the game. 5-6, and he walked him, so he couldn't even get his job done. He walks Pasednik, a great base stealer. And now Molina's in the game. He's a 0 arm, so that's going to help Pasednik a little bit more. Ray King will come out. Tavares will come in. So Tavares is now in to face Taguchi. But Pasednik is a AA, which makes him a 17. -2 for being held to 15. So 1-15, he will make it. And he does with a 9. So Molina not able to get him. So it's a stolen base. So he's in scoring position with nobody out for Taguchi, who's a great bunter. And he will be up to bunt. He's a B bunter because they're expecting it. B bunter in a 7 should be good all day long. B bunter in a 7 is batter thrown out by first baseman. So 3-4 on the sacrifice as Pujols flips to Womack covering. And going to third with only one out is Pasetnik, so the infield's going to have to come in now for Jermaine Dye. So infield is in. They got to cut that runoff. Can't afford a cheap one to come in on a ground ball. 3-11 against the right-hander, and he gets hit. So second hit batter by the Cardinals as they hit Rowan the previous inning. So right now, the feisty Ozzie Guillen not happy about that. Barking at the umpires and barking at La Russa. But now there's 2 on. Double play is now in order though, because now you got runners at the corners, so they're gonna move the infield back and play for a double play ball against Konerko. 6-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. That's Edmonds, who is a very good center fielder. Edmonds is a 1 with an E5, so he's a 1. That's a 3, a 1 and a 3 for a center fielder. 1 and a 3 is a fly ball C, and that means the runner's got to hold. So Pasetnik unable to move up as Edmonds makes the catch, and that strong arm holds him there. And now here's the infamous Carl Everett. He is 2 for 3 with 2 dingers, and Tavares is in charge of trying to get him out of there. 2-4, and he does. Ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. Ground ball to short ends the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th we go. Burley has 1 strike against his point of weakness, so he's still good to go. Although the bullpen is loosening for the Sox. They do have right-handed action in the bullpen in Bobby Jenks. So Bobby Jenks is loosening just in case Burley gets into trouble. Right now he's got a top of the order Womack. Womack's been on base all 3 times. Double, single, and a walk with 2 steals. 6-7 against Burley, and he just missed getting on for a 4th time, possibly. Ground ball second base 6. I guess he could get on again if Iguchi can't field it. And Iguchi, with his run rating, or his defensive rating rather, is a 2, E18. So a 2 second baseman. 2 and an 18 is a good play. So Iguchi makes the play and keeps Womack off the bases. Here's Larry Walker. 1 swing of the bat can tie this game right up. 5-4 against Burley is a catcher X. That's Przinski. And Przinski, defensively, checks in as a 4, so not very good. 4 and a 16 on a catcher. 4 and a 16. 16-4 is a pass ball and a pop out. So it's pass ball, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's on. So that really didn't come into play. Like I was thinking somebody was on for some reason. I don't know why. But it's just a pass ball. Just a pop out. So nothing going on there. Here's Pujols. 4-11 by Burley is a ground ball to third. That's going to end the inning. So Mark Burley is going to pitch 8 innings of solid baseball, and they will turn it over to their closer, Hermanson. As Jinx is now set down, but Dustin Hermanson, their closer, is coming on to pitch the 9th. It'll be Dustin Hermanson to pitch the 9th. So Hermanson will be pitching the 9th. Now the Cardinals, let's see, Tavares pitched an inning already in the 8th, and now they have Rowan, Przinski, and Creedy. So let's see, they're going to go to another pitcher out of the bullpen, as they will now turn it over to their closer, Jason Isringhausen. There's no sense in holding him back. There is no save situation any further, so they're going to go ahead and use Isringhausen. They don't want to go through the whole game without using him. So Isringhausen is in to try to keep it a 2-1 game. And he's going to be starting out facing Aaron Rowand. 2-1 Sox. We start the 9th. 3-10 for Rowand, and that's a solid single. So So Aaron Rowan leads off with a base hit. He's a base stealer. He will not try it. He will be held, but he won't try anything. Here's Przinsky. 2-6 for Przinsky, struck him out. So Isringhausen dials up a K on Przinsky. And here's Joe Creedy. 1-4 for Creedy. Ground ball to second with a C, so that's going to move the runner up. Womack's only play is to first. Rowan will now go to second, and that's a big insurance run if they can score it. And the shortstop, Uribe, is the batter. Now, do the Sox want to go to their bench, potentially, for a pinch hitter? They could bring in Pablo Ozuna or Willie Harris as the new shortstop, but neither one is anywhere near as defensively as good as Uribe. So you'd hate to lose that defensive advantage there. And you know what? They're mulling it over, but I think he's 252 with a double-digit home run. So they're going to go ahead and let Uribe stay in the game and give him a shot to try to drive the run in. 4-6, it doesn't matter. It's coming off Isringhausen. That's a strikeout. And that would have been a strikeout against a lefty or a righty. So all that mulling really turned out to be for naught. And we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Cardinals. They're down 2-1. They do have the heart of the order. Edmonds, Rowland, and Sanders due up. And they'll have to face their closer, Dustin Hermanson, who had 34 saves on the year, a 2.04 ERA. So Dustin Hermanson will be on. Burley goes 8. Gives up just the 1 run. And Hermanson now looking to close the deal if possible and send the White Sox to the next round. And in that next round, should the White Sox advance, they would play the 1978 Yankees. Get a shot at the Yankees. And they would not have to face Guidry because he's already pitched in the first round. So they'd have they would be Guidry free. So here is Edmonds. Start the bottom of the ninth, 6-7. It's ground ball, second base X, and that is Iguchi. And Iguchi is a 2. 2 and a 12 might be an error check. 2 and a 12 is an error check, and Iguchi is an E18, so this could be problematic. An E18 and a 6. Second baseman, E18 and a 6 is a 1 base error right there. A 7 would have been a ground ball A. 3 through 6 is an E1. So Iguchi, they were worried about Uribe's defensive, not losing him, and then they end up having Iguchi cause the error. So it's an E4. And Edmonds, the tying run is on base. He is a C, running at a 13. Let's check their bench and see if they have any speedsters they might want to bring into the game. They do have, well, not really. People on the bench don't run as well as Edmonds does, so they'll leave Edmonds there. Here's Scott Rowland. Now you're not going to bunt because you want the number 4 and 5 guys to do damage, not be bunting. So here's Rowland, 5-2 against Hermanson. That's a pop up to third, and that's going to be fielded over there by Mr. Creedy. And there's 1 away. Now Reggie Sanders is up. Now he was the DH because of the lefty starter, but with the righty in there, Hermanson, they could go to a lefty off the bench. And let's see, they've got John Mabry, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to substitute and put Mabry in as the new DH. He's going to pinch hit for Sanders, and if it goes extra innings, he would be the new DH. So John Mabry. John Mabry up in a big spot. Runner at first, 1 out. Bottom of the ninth, 2-1. 5-4 is a fly ball to right. That's going to be out number 2, and had they left Sanders in, that would have been a walk. So, you win some, you lose some on that. I was playing the percentages, at least what I thought were their percentages. And now it's up to Edgar Renteria, unless they want to pinch hit for Renteria. He is a 287 hitter, so might be hard-pressed to find anybody better. Let's look at their bench. They do have Ray Langford and Marlon Anderson, but neither one hit as well as Renteria does. So they're going to leave Renteria in there. 2 outs, runner at first, Edmonds. Last chance, 5-6. Oh, and look at this. on a 5-6. A 1-5 is a triple that would tie the game. 6-20, it put runners on the corners with 2 outs. So it's a big D20 roll here. A 1-5, and we got a tie game. It's a 2. It's a triple. So Renteria has tripled, and they have just wasted Mark Burley's wonderful performance as Hermanson blows the save. It was an unearned run because of that error on Iguchi. It should never have gotten to this point, but it did. And now Renteria is at third. He is the winning run, and look who's up at the plate but Yadier Molina. Rookie Yadier Molina. Can't pitch hit for him because they have nobody left to catch. He's in there facing Hermanson, 5-5, and he could hit a walk-off home run right here. 1-5 would be a walk-off home run. 6-20, we're going to extra innings. But a 1-5 is a walk-off home run. Nope, it's a fly to left. Would have been a sac fly had there been less than 2 outs. But in any event, we're going to extra innings. So 9 innings, not enough. And Mark Burley shaking his head because he had that win sewn up, and Hermanson just blew it. And now we are going to the top of the 10th. And the Cardinals will now bring in their other lefty, Steve Klein. So Steve Klein is coming on to pitch. He'll be facing Pasednik. Klein is pitcher number 5 for the Cardinals. Sox have only used 2 so far. Of course, they're going to use a third one because Hermanson's going to be coming out. So I'll have to go to somebody else. Right now, here's Pasednik, lefty on lefty with Klein. 5-5 against Klein. That's a strikeout. So Pasednik down on strikes. And that's going to bring up Iguchi. His error is why we're in extra innings. 5-8 against Klein. Ground ball second base X. That's Womack. And Womack checks in at a 4. So could be a little shaky there. 4-3. That's a base hit. So Iguchi sneaks one by Womack. And he's aboard. He's a B stealer, but he will not try anything. He's only a 50-50 chance if you do try to steal. So, but you know what? They might do it 50-50 is not too bad. So they're going to try it 1-10. He'll steal. And he gets thrown out. So got greedy. Maybe shouldn't have been so hasty, but trying to get the guy in scoring position, it just didn't work. And now here with 2 outs and the bases empty is Jermaine Dye. 3-9 against the lefty. He strikes out, and that's going to end the inning. So what could have been promising turns out to be not so much. We go to the bottom of the 10th, and the Sox will bring in a new pitcher to try to send this thing to the 11th. Steve Klein is done for the Sox. He's pretty much a 1-inning pitcher. So let's look at the bullpen activity for the White Sox and see who they have to bring in. They do have Bobby Jinks they can bring in. And they do have some lefties as well. Cardinals have Taguchi and then Womack and Walker, a couple lefties. So they're going to go to a lefty. They're going to go to Neil Kotz, a left-hander. He's got an ERA of 1.94. So they're going with Neil Kotz, the lefty. Because after Taguchi, you've got a couple lefties coming up. So Neil Kotz, he's not really worried about Taguchi. He's worried about Womack and Walker. And then later on to Edmonds. So here's Taguchi. 2-3, and that is a ground ball to second, 1 away. Taguchi grounds to Iguchi. That happened again. It happened in the 3rd, just happened here in the 10th. Here's Womack, 5-7 against Kotz. That's a strikeout. So 2 down. And here's Larry Walker, who's been quiet all game, 1 for 4. 3-7, and he's going to be 1 for 5 as he flies to left. And we're going to the 11th. So 11 innings, or 10 innings is not enough. We're going to do 11. How do you like that? Now, the Cardinals will bring in a right-hander from their bullpen because the Sox have some righties coming up, Konerko and Rowan, plus Everett, the switch hitter. So they're going to go to pitcher number 6, Kiko Calero. So Kiko Calero will be coming on. Right-hander, Kiko Calero. And on the 2004 season, he was 3-1 with a 2.78 ERA and 2 saves. So again, very good bullpen for both teams, actually. So here's Konerko, start the 11th. 6-4 against Calero is a ground ball third base X. That's Roland. And for Roland, he is a 1 defensively. 1-7. I believe that's a good play. I don't think you go to an error check on that. Yes, you do, actually. On third base, it's 6-14 as an error check. So, Let's look at the error rating on Roland. He's an E12, so this could be interesting. E12 and an 11. Third baseman, E12 and an 11. And 11 is a one base error, so it's an E5 on Roland to start the 12th, or to start the 11th rather. So another error on the Cardinals. Now Konerko can't run for squat, so do they use a pinch runner and see what happens? They're going to use Timo Perez. Timo Perez will pinch run. He's not a very good stealer, but he's a better runner because Konerko only runs at an 8 and Timo runs at a 12. And plus Timo is rated to play first base. So out of all the guys they have here, actually Pablo Ozuna is also rated, but very bad, but he's a better runner. He's a 15 versus a 12. You know what? They're going to use Pablo Ozuna, so I stand corrected. So Pablo Ozuna is going to pinch run for Konerko, and he's going to stay in the game and play first base because he's such a good runner. So Ozuna, they're going to give up a lot defensively, but he's a B stealer, but that's not the important part. He runs at a 15. That is the important part. Plus, they're going to have to hold him where they would not be holding Konerko. So here's Carl Everett. 4-8. Carl Everett's a switch hitter, batting left-handed. 4-8. A 1-2 is a homer. Are you kidding me? Could this be a third home run for Carl Everett? A 1-2 is a homer, but not very good odds. 3-20, he flies to right. And he does fly to right, so that's out number 1. So Carl Everett got into one, almost, but not quite. And that brings up Aaron Rowand. 5-6. Ground ball shortstop A. That's going to end the inning. 6-4-3 double play. And that's going to end the inning. So now we go to the bottom of the 11th. Bottom of the 11th. And let's see, Kotz was in there last time, so Kotz will be coming out, and looks like they're going to go to Bobby Jenks. So Bobby Jenks is in to face some of these tough right-handers, Pujols and Roland, with Edmonds sandwiched in. So Jenks, they're hoping it's not a jinx to bring Jenks in. So Jenks is on. Face Pujols. 3-6 for Pujols is a single. So Pujols leads off with a single. He's not a very good runner, but I don't think they can take him out. I don't believe they have anybody left on the bench to do anything with. Let's see if they do or do not. Well, they do have Marlon Anderson, but he runs the 13, same as Pujols. So you know what? They're going to just keep Pujols in there. And Jim Edmonds is definitely not bunting. Not with his power. So Edmonds is up 3-2. But he struck him out. So big strikeout there for Mr. Jenks. One away for Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland. 4-6. And that's a strikeout by Jenks. So the 12th inning is looking on the very quick horizon. Here's John Mabry. 5-10. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Uribe. He's a 2. 2 and a 13 on a shortstop. Might be an error check. Nope, 2 and 13 is a ground ball B. Just did make it. So 6-4 fielder's choice. And we go to the 12th. So we're going to the 12th. And it's a good thing they have a lot of relief pitching because they're using a lot of it up. Let's see. They're going to go with Calero's going to go a second inning. He's got a rating of 2. So he will go a second inning to face A.J. Pierzynski. 1-6 for Pierzynski. Oh, look at this. 1-10 is a homer. 11-20 is a double. 15 is a leadoff double for Pierzynski. Leadoff double for Pierzynski. And that will take us to Joe Creedy. 3-7 for Creedy, and that's gonna untie the game very quickly. 1-12 is a double, 13-20 is a single, but it's 2 stars either way. And that is another double, back-to-back doubles. So maybe they left Calero in one batter or one inning too long. They're going to make the move now and take him out of there. Might be too late, but he's going to have to come out, and they'll go to Cal Eldred out of the bullpen. So Cal Eldred will be their 7th pitcher to pitch. Cal Eldred. He will be on, but the Sox now lead at 3-2 here in the 12th. Here's your Uribe. He's an A bunter. He's going to see about bunting the runner to third. That's a 6 on a B bunter. 6 with a B is a batter thrown out by third base and runners advance. So Roland fields the bunt, throws to Womack covering. So that's a 5-4 sacrifice. And Creedy will move to third. So he's at third with 1 out. The infield's going to have to come in for Pasednik. Or they could walk Pasednik and try to set up a double play with Iguchi. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to walk Pasednik and see if they can't double up Iguchi. So the intentional walk to Pasednik. Of course, Pasednik could try to steal again as well as a double-A stealer. That's another possibility. That makes him a 1 to 15 chance of making it and thwarting that double play. And that's what they're going to do. So Guillen trying to outsmart La Russa here. He's going to say, are you going to set up the double play? I'm going to steal on you. If you give my guy a free base, 1 to 15, I'll steal on you. And he does. So that takes the double play out of the equation. So La Russa got outsmarted by Ozzie Guillen. And now the infield's still going to have to come in for Iguchi. 6-2. Ground ball shortstop A. Now there's an underline on here. But I think all the A's seem to have underlines on them. So I don't think that really means anything on here. I guess. I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm treating it as such. It's a regular ground ball shortstop A. So with the infield in, I go to my trusty little, even though it says super advanced, I still like it and use it even though I'm doing the advanced. Infield in, ground ball, runners at second and third, ground ball A is a 1, which says batter out, runners hold. So batter is out, runners hold. So with the infield in, they get a hard ground ball to Renteria. He fields it, checks the runners, and now it's Jermaine Dye stepping to the plate. And on deck is Ozuna, because remember, he pinch hit or pinch ran for Konerko. So they could walk Jermaine Dye intentionally and pitch to Ozuna. But if you walk Dye intentionally, and they will do that, he had 31 home runs, they're not going to mess with him. But it does set up the possibility of walking in a run. So take your chances either way. Here's Ozuna, 1-8. And Ozuna is going to make clear the bases right here. 1 to 13 is a triple. This is obviously a bad move on La Russa's part. 1-8 on Dye would have been a ground ball out. But with Ozuna, 1-8 is a 1 to 13 triple. 14 to 20 is a single 2 stars. So that's a base clearing triple for Ozuna. And I think that's going to be the beginning of the end for the Cardinals, as La Russa may need to go back to managing school because he just got schooled by Ozzie Guillen. And that's now a 6-2 White Sox lead on the base clearing triple. Eldred will have to leave, and they'll have to bring in the only guy they got left in the bullpen. If they even have anybody left in the bullpen. They don't really have any. No, check that. They don't have anybody left. So it's Eldred or bust here, and they've already busted. So he's going to be fatigued, so he's going to try to avoid a dot. 6-3 against Everett, the switch hitter. 6-3 is a fly ball left field X. That is Taguchi, the left fielder, and Taguchi is a 2 outfielder, so they're hoping he can get to that. 2 and a 5 should be okay, I would think, for a left fielder. 2 and a 5 is a fly ball B, so with 3, that makes the third out, so no sac fly there. But the damage already done, a 4-run 12th for the Sox, as they take what seems to be an insurmountable 6-2 lead. And now, coming in for the Sox to try to finish the deal off the mound will be lefty Damaso Marte. Marte, 3-4 with a 3.77 ERA and 4 saves. Of course, this is not a save situation. So Renteria will lead things off against Marte, and Jinx trying to be the winner in this one. So here is Renteria. 4-7 against the righty Marte. 4-7 is a leadoff walk. Not what you want to start. And Guillen will not tolerate this very long. In fact, they've got more activity in the bullpen. They do have, let's see, who else do they have down there? They have Cliff Polite, the right-hander, is loosening just in case. This is Molina. 4-8. 4-8 is a strikeout. Marte gets the strikeout of Molina. one away, and that brings up Taguchi. 4-7, that's another walk. So again, a second walk. And now the order has been flipped over to the top of the order for Womack. And I think this might be the last batter for Marte if he can't get it done. Polite is just about ready. 3-8 for Womack against the lefty is a single, 2 stars, and that will produce a run. So how about that? Here come the Cardinals. Not giving up. Renteria will score. And Taguchi will go to third. So runners at the corners, 1 out. And Marte will now have to give way to Larry Walker. Although, you know what, lefty on lefty, they want to avoid these home runs of Larry Walker. So they're going to let Marte pitch to Walker, and then they'll bring in Polite. 3-6 for Walker is a walk. So I guess in the bigger scheme of things, that didn't hurt him too bad. Although it does load the bases now with only 1 out. Tying runs are all on base. Winning runs at the plate in Pujols. So Marte will leave. Cliff Polite will be coming on to try to finish things out. Polite is the 6th pitcher used by the White Sox. Cardinals have already used 8. So war of attrition here, so to speak. Pujols, with 1 swing of the bat, Pujols could end the game in a walk-off. Believe it or not. 4-7, but he won't do it. He strikes out against Polite. So that's 2 down. And a 4-7 against Marte would have been another walk, and that would have brought in a run. So they pulled him just at the right time. But now you got the dangerous Jim Edmonds against a right-hander. If he finds that 1-8 to 1-9, it'll be a walk-off. And he found the 1-8 right on cue. He found the 1-8. It is a grand slam walk-off for Jim Edmonds. And the Cardinals, I don't know how, miraculously did it. They have come back with 5 runs in the bottom of the 12th and have won the game by the score of 7-2 in walk-off fashion. I thought the 2018 Red Sox and 71 Pirate game was wild with that, but this one takes the cake, I think. I don't know. I mean, and honestly, when I was looking at the matchups, this is one of the matchups that interests me the very least, but I think it ended up being the best game as far as had the most drama and everything. So I know Sportsman Z is a White Sox fan and probably not happy with the way I managed for the White Sox. Maybe I should have left Jinx in there or something, or Kotz. But the 4-run lead, I thought it was safe to bring Marte in. Or maybe I should have just let Jinx go a second inning. I don't know. But then when he brought Polite in, it was too little too late. And Jim Edmonds walked him off. He had that 1-8 and 1-9 on his card. And doggone if he didn't find that 1-8. So it must have been the magic of the red dice. But the Cardinals do it. I'm not going to bother with the totals. It's too gruesome to look at. But we will go ahead and fill in the results. And miraculously, the St. Louis Cardinals, with 5 runs in the bottom of the 12th, will advance to take on the Yankees of 1978 style. Last game left in round 1, the 72 A's against the 70 Orioles. Winner playing the 88 A's, so you could have an Oakland versus Oakland matchup here. Oakland so far is 2-0 in there for the franchise in this tournament. I don't know what else to tell you. Pittsburgh is also 2-0 in the tournament for a franchise. So I had to catch my breath on that one. That one just totally caught me off guard. Like I said, I don't know if I probably mismanaged the White Sox. My bad. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with the teams in this particular part of the 2000s when I was really kind of away from baseball for a little bit, and so I'm not that all familiar. I was trying to just go by the stats on the cards and what I thought would happen, but maybe it's just the bad luck of the dice. You never know. So let's go do it from here. Again, final score with miraculously 5 in the 9th. I'm sorry, 5 in the 12th rather. 5 in the 12th. After the Sox got 4 in the 12th, the Cardinals get 5 in the 12th and win it on a grand slam walk-off home run from Jim Edmonds, and that carries them to place the 1978 Yankees in the Sweet 16. So let's go do it from here. Hope you are having a great day whenever you're seeing this. Hope you're staying safe in all this COVID mess. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.